Thank you very much. I'll be very brief, but first I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here and be part of an effort on exports. Alaska is a net exporter. We like to brag about it, that we export more than we import, which is good. Francisco, I'm sorry you're leaving. I know you came up to Alaska. We appreciate that, the work that you did to help our exporters understand what's available. Now, I know you came in June, so that was a good time to come. But those that come in the winter get extra credit points. But we really do thank you, because it really does make a difference. That outreach from my state intrigued many of our exporters to consider other opportunities. And we export everything that you can imagine, but we love our fish, and we love to export it everywhere. Another piece of the equation, we just had the ambassador for China in Alaska for several days. China is now our #1 trading partner, $1.2 billion of trade. They've gone tenfold in about 6.5 years in trade. They've passed Japan for us, as used to be our #1 trading partner. I want to add a couple things that I just heard. And one, I want to emphasize what Senator Klobuchar talked about. For Alaska, tourism is big business. For this country, it's big business. It's not exporting, it's importing cash, which we like. Foreign visitors in Alaska account for 15% of our business. They spend more time, they spend more money. We like that. So the Travel Promotion Act, the work on visas, has been a huge benefit and will continue to, I think, be a huge opportunity for us. Plus, I like to be included in the former mayor club. As a former mayor, you're going to get a few of those now, which is good.
It's great.
One of the best things we loved about our tourism business, especially foreign travelers, was we spent time not only having them visit our city, but talk about business opportunities. So it really creates a dual opportunity there. Another piece I'd like to just add, and Secretary Fox, you mentioned the transportation issues. Alaska is the fourth largest cargo hub in the world. A lot of people don't realize that in Anchorage. UPS, FedEx, and others do a lot of business through our airports. 700 wide-body jets move out of there every single week, moving product around the globe, because it's all about location, location, location. But the bigger challenges, and Secretary Fox mentioned, I hope on a longer term we can figure out this solution. We're doing some stuff through a subcommittee that I chair on Oceans and Commerce on port redevelopment. We have to figure out, if we're going to export more goods, we have to have ports that can actually handle them, moving the products out. It's great to have air. It's great to have other types of transportation within. But if we're going to move stuff out, we have to have a much better port strategy in this country, which I think lacks a great deal. On top of that, the biggest and most exciting part for Alaska, which I think for this country and honestly for this world, is what's happening in the Arctic. The Arctic is a huge future for us, not only from Alaska's perspective, but I think this country, when you think about the oil and gas explorations, Governor, you talked about it. We're very excited. I know the folks from North Dakota like to tell us that they've surpassed us in Alaska on oil and gas. You know, we like to tell them that will take no time, and one well will pass them radically. Because as we look at the Arctic, 26 billion barrels of oil, trillions of cubic feet of gas, enormous opportunity. And when it comes to exports, Secretary, as you know, we have been exporting for 40 years, so we know it, we know the business, and it's a good business for this country to be in when it comes to gas and other energy products. But along with that, other countries see opportunity for transportation routes, and it is smart for us as a country to figure out how we get to service those boats and ships that are moving fast through the Arctic and the Bering Sea. In the last couple of years, they have doubled the capacity of ships moving through that area. Russia is not waiting around. They're figuring out their port network to service these ships that are moving through there. It is in our best interest as this country to get that business, not let it go over to the other side of the water. A lot of people talk about the southern border, to my friend down, the mayor from Arizona, but up in the north, we have a 50-mile area that between us and Russia, with a lot of ships moving through there now, and big ships. And it's in our interest, and China has figured this out. They are not waiting. It will cut 40% of their time and fuel costs by moving through that region. I would like to make sure that the U.S. is the company that services those ships. On top of that, I'll end on this, and that is, as we figure out the port issues, the other big piece that is a huge gap, and we're now talking about it through our Oceans Committee, is the rebuilding and recapitalization of our shipping fleets, fishing fleets, and freight movers. It is a huge need in this country. And what's so great about these facilities, they're American-built, American labor, and they pay well. And so we have to figure out a strategy. We don't have a really good comprehensive federal government strategy on this in the sense of loan guarantees and other programs that could really put a renaissance in this area of shipbuilding in this country. And anytime you talk to a fishing industry, and you may think it's a small ship, but when they were building $60 to $100 million processing ships, we'd like them to build them right here in the U.S. with American labor. When you talk about the freighters that are now converting some to LNG fuel source for their facilities, that's all American jobs, American capacity, but it's also moving our goods around the globe. So those are the several issues that I'm very interested in, and so I'm glad to be here. And to be very frank with you, I'm glad to see a mayor in the role of transportation secretary for a lot of reasons.